49ers. It was as close to a perfect opener as you could have possibly had. Purdy, built on everything he's done last year. McCaffrey was terrific. 25 touches. He had 22 carries and 3 catches. Aiyuk, everybody's expecting a breakout year. Well, he had a breakout game to start the season. 8 catches, 109 yards. Defense with 2 interceptions and 5 sacks. The kicker was perfect. You dominated the time of possession. I mean, there is...
You left something out on Aiyuk, Steiny.
Give it to me. A block. Okay, the block.
Yeah, no, because I think of all the great receivers in my time. Jerry Rice, he passed it down to Terrell Owens with the work ethic. Michael Irvin, Larry Fitzgerald, Brandon Aiyuk, and Deebo Samuel, Steiny, even when they're not getting the ball or a part of the play, what makes me just respect them more as players is the fact what they did on that McCaffrey run. And that has to stem from the coaching staff, from the head coach, but that's an attribute that you're not going to see in the stat line, but it just makes me root for those guys more. Like, you didn't mention that, but you did see the block in the Deebo, Kittle, and Aiyuk exhibit on a weekly basis, and I think a lot of times doesn't get enough credit.
As long as you're giving out credit, I'll give out credit to Kyle Shanahan. Because if we're going to talk about every aspect of coaching, the bottom line is, you know why Brandon Aiyuk didn't get off on a great start with Kyle Shanahan. You know why? Because he wasn't making that block, probably. He probably wasn't making that block early in his career. And Kyle Shanahan loves his receivers and tight ends to block. So, that's one of those where it's like, do you really have to know exactly what it was? I'll bet you that had to be part of it. Because it certainly wasn't Aiyuk having the drops. It couldn't have been Aiyuk. Well, he's not a really good route runner because that's what he was supposedly really good at.
In practice, like you always point out.
Maybe it wasn't so. Maybe it wasn't like loafing sounds bad. I feel like, but maybe it was just he just wasn't. He wasn't executing everything he needed to execute. Well, I don't know, but he's doing it now. He's
Tell me if I'm wrong on this one. When you see receivers block and are willing to block like tight ends, that's another element of being a physical team.
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt. And that's what
they got a lot, man.
That's what Mike Tomlin said. Got kicked in the teeth. 888-957-9570 is a number. Best part about yesterday's win, if you're a San Francisco 49er fan, what'd you love the most? What was the best part? 415 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. You want to jump in there, 415-777-9570. And he says the overall dominance. The Niners were sound in every aspect of the game. Impressive win. Drake Jackson was a pleasant surprise. He certainly was. He had 3 sacks yesterday. And the Niners look like we thought they might look. One of the best teams in the NFL. Anthony's in Benicia. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Hey. What's up, fellas, man? What's up, Guru? Good to talk to you guys together. I want to give a shout-out to Fred Warner. This guy was all over the place making plays. I think he has that one play in the first quarter when he stuffed the run. He came downhill. He shot that gap. And he what's their running back's name? I can't remember right now, but he sat him down. And so, like, I as a 49er fan, I'm not looking at Brock as the last pick of the draft. I'm just looking at him as a quarterback that can get us to the promised land. He's shown that this is not a fluke, and he can, as long as he continues to play the way he, the kind of standard he set himself as, I think we'll be fine. Everything looked great defensively. Like you said, Guru, I think earlier in the show that, or maybe Steiny pointed it out that there were some penalties, but I believe that they'll clean that up. I kind of wanted to jump into what you guys are talking about, Brandon Aiyuk. And remember, Shanahan played receiver in college. And I don't think that Shanahan was ever known for having like the physical gift that some of these other guys have. And so you would think that part of the reason Brandon was in the doghouse is because Shanahan probably had to do a lot of the little stuff to get on the field, which is the blocking, which is running the routes, really clean and crisp. And so you look at somebody like Brandon that was not, was in the doghouse for that little amount of time. I wonder if it was because, like, Shanahan seen, like, hey, listen, you got all the physical tools, but you got to do this other stuff, to really be great. And it seems like now that he's doing those things, sky's the limit for that young man. But I definitely wanted to give a shout out to Fred Warner, who just seemed like he was all over the place. He was playing composed. He wasn't overshooting sometimes, and he was right there. And I just thought that play stood out to me. Like when he shot the gap, I knew it was going to be a physical game, and it didn't look like Pittsburgh was ready for that.
Appreciate the call, Anthony. Yeah, it sure seemed like that play set the tone, or at least was one of the plays that set the tone.
He lit him up, man.
Absolutely.
I don't give him enough credit, Steiny, and I wrote that on my notes here. Actually, I did it last night. Coming in here, I always talk about Bosa, rightfully so, even Jimmy Ward, but Hufanga last year, but I never talk about the brilliance and the greatness, which is Fred W. Steiny, he is for real, man, and, you talk about this Niner defense and the havoc that we see Bosa cause, but Fred is sideline to sideline. The dude is just active, and it could be even in a blowout, but his presence is felt. And I was like, you know what? I got to come in here tomorrow, which is today, and give this guy his flowers. He is part and an anchor of what makes this defense what it's been and why it's been in the Super Bowl in 2019 and why it's been to the last two NFC championship games. And that run was just, I know it was one play where he lit him up, Steiny, but it was a message like, y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.
So, I got my buddy who emails me. He's a big 49er fan, Harry, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so Harry emailed me today, and he was just like, I just don't understand why you won't say Purdy's really good. Why you won't say Purdy
He talking
isn't
to
gonna
you.
be. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, he's played 9 games. Everything's been great. He's been terrific through 9 games. There's absolutely, positively no doubt about it. He's exceeded expectations. If you want to be the first to say he's the next Joe Montana, or he's the franchise quarterback,
but Gene felt that way,
or he'll be the franchise quarterback for the next what's a franchise quarterback? Next 6 years, definitely. If you want to say that, like, okay, and it looks good early, and I'm not saying
brilliant early. I'm not saying it looks better than good.
Okay,
all right,
but I'm not. I'm just because of who I am. I'm not going to say he's going to be one of the greats. He played 9 games.
Right. And it's off, and 2 of those were a playoff game. He's off to a great start.
He's off to a great start.
And he's in a beautiful situation, right?
So, but here's the thing. This is it's great that he's off to a great start. And it's great that he's been really good. But like what doesn't matter anymore is that he was the 7th pick in the draft, or 7th round pick in the draft, or whether he's the real deal or not. Like he's going to be judged by how far this team goes.
Right. And the wins that he stacks up.
And the expectation is Super Bowl. So all he has to do, and I mean that facetiously, is be good enough to be the starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team, this 49er team.
And he's off to a great start.
And if he does that, it won't matter if he sets all kinds of passing records. It just means that he was the quarterback that finally, like it's been that long a time, but he was the quarterback that he just needs he needs to be the quarterback that can get Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers over the top. Darren in Richmond. What's going on, Darren? Appreciate it.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm just giving y'all a call back. What's up, Goof?
Hey, I know you happy.
Hey, listen. Hey, I'm a man of my word. I told you I was going to call you back Monday, win or lose, man. I wanted to call you Friday, though, and give you my keys to victory, right, which obviously didn't happen. One of the keys was getting to the quarterback. We had a bright spot. His name was T.J. Watt. I'm still optimistic about our season. However, Patrick Peterson is a liability in our secondary. He cannot guard these youngsters out here. I'm talking about Hall of Famer, had a great career. But mark my words, during the season, he's going to cost us a few games. He's going to give up some big passes, bro. His days came and gone. Great locker room.
And he's still talking, though. Yeah, Steiny, that's what, like, he is done. He's on the back nine, but he's still running his mouth like if he just came out of college. And then he just got not exposed. You get abused yesterday. Like, what would make you just out of nowhere say, I watched Brock on film, he going to throw one to me, and then go out there and get just molly-whopped. That's what old heads do.
It's the confidence that got him to the league in the first place, probably.
Yeah.
That's
you've been on a few teams now, Steiny.
No, and somebody here says it only matters what Shanahan and the players think. That's right. What doesn't matter is our opinion. That's 408. That's kind of what I'm getting at is whether it doesn't matter anymore. Like, the 49ers finally have they're not going to Sam Darnold. Okay, they ain't going to Sam Darnold unless, God forbid, something happens to Purdy.